What happened to all the Quaker friends that created Wrightsboro, Georgia? There was once a thriving community near the new town of Augusta. It was founded by a religious group called the Quakers. The land between the Savannah River and the Ogeechee River was inhabited by the Creek tribes and a few other tribes. In 1733, the colony governor, Oglethorpe, sent troops up the Savannah as far as they could navigate to build a fort there, and they called it Augusta, named after the royal princess married to Frederick, Prince of Wales. The river was often flooded and unpredictable, so in 1739, 6 years later, construction began to expand the native people's trails to accommodate horses and opened for wagons in 1769, 30 years later. Between Savannah and Augusta, this road became the longest and most important roadway in Georgia at the time, over 150 miles long. This road started in Savannah, following the footpath along ridges and through very shallow stream crossings to the northwest. Going over 150 miles without crossing a bridge is unthinkable in most places. These roads are mostly still in use today. Today, the first historic marker along this route is in Sardis, on what do we now call Georgia 24. The second marker is in Waynesboro, still on Georgia 24. It's most likely the path went from there by way of a road now called Georgia 80 to Rennes. The marker in Rennes is at the intersection of US 1 and Old Quaker Road. This joins Georgia 17 north through Thompson, what is now Thompson, to Wrightsboro. Thompson wasn't even there at the time. It's unclear where the path branched off towards Augusta. Back to the history. In 1763, the four tribal leaders met with colonial leaders and ceded the land between Savannah, Ogeechee rivers to the colony of Georgia. That same year, then the Georgia Governor Wright granted thousands of acres to the Quakers to settle. They were so thankful, the Quakers named the area the Wrightsboro District. The population of Wrightsboro grew quickly, and it was the southernmost Quaker settlement in the colonies. A trivial fact is Wrightsboro became the capital of Georgia for one day in 1799, when the war, the Revolutionary War, forced the Whig government to flee the capital at Augusta. They convened a quorum for the day in a Quaker meeting hall. They soon moved farther west to get away from the war. The community of Wrightsboro was designed following the Savannah and Augusta patterns, but never flourished as a city. The Quakers were farmers and craftsmen, but needed land more than confines of a city. They were also not into developing large plantations. During the war, some of the Quakers fled Georgia as they did not believe in conflict, would not fight as soldiers, as well as they supported the British Empire. This support led to the conflict with local militias. Most that fled did not return because after the war, the slave industry grew. The Quakers had freed their slaves by 1775, but their neighbors did not. Another conflict. There was no incentive to return to a slave state like Georgia. By now, and by the 1800s, all the Quakers in this area had moved to either Ohio or Indiana, west of the Mississippi, of course. Some of the families still own property to this day, but don't live in Georgia. The answer to our opening question is, where have all the Quakers gone? To slave-free states west of the Mississippi. The irony of naming the old Quaker Road, as we have, is that they left by other routes going north. Today, Wrightsboro is on the National Historic Places Registry, but it's not even a town in Georgia. We will remember them when passing the old Quaker Road street signs, but they are gone. To get other stories behind the historic markers and murals, hit my subscribe button on my YouTube channel, and while you're at it, hit the thumbs up to help me spread these stories. I'll see you on the next episode of Georgia History Today.